Well, welcome back to another daily devotion. I'm Pastor Roy, and yes, I'm over in the parsonage in the library today. This devotion is for Monday, October 31st. We have made it to the end of October, made it to Halloween. So if you're out trick or treating today, be safe, please. And today we are going to get to chapter 10. We will spend a little bit of time in chapter 10. It won't take us but a few days, I don't think, to get through 10. The chapters in Hebrews aren't easily dissected or broken apart to a great deal, so we do end up taking bigger chunks. And I saw, if you may have noticed, a tail in the corner. Henry, rather, is here with us again. If we're over in the parsonage, Henry can't help but come and check on us. So, without further ado, let's just take a look at the first four verses. This is talking about Christ's sacrifice once for all. So let's listen to chapter 10, verses 1 through 4. For since the law was but a shadow of the good things to come instead of the true form of these realities, it can never, by the same sacrifices which are continually offered year after year, make perfect those who draw near. Otherwise, would they not have ceased to be offered? If the worshippers had once been cleansed, they would no longer have any consciousness of sin. But in these sacrifices there is a remainder of sin year after year, for it is impossible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. And I'm being attacked by a kitten when I read scripture. There's something about that. We could probably find a sermon in that somewhere, huh? We would liken him to the distractions of the world. But at any rate, here we are talking about Christ's sacrifice compared to the sacrifices of the temple. And again, as I've mentioned several times through this, I think the big impetus here is because these worshipers, well, there's two lines of thought on that. One is that they're wanting to backslide back into Judaism from Christianity and wanting to return to the sacrificial ways. Or the line of thinking that I tend to follow is that the temple has been destroyed, and now they're distraught, like, wait a minute, well, even though we weren't partaking in that, now that's not going on anymore, so maybe we've lost the substrate in their mind's eye. We don't believe it's a substrate. Christ is the foundation. He is the cornerstone. But the temple was it all for the Jews. And so they've lost that temple, and without the temple, how do we continue on? So this, I think, to me, that's what Romans is, or not Romans, but Hebrews rather, is about. It's about assuaging that fear and that concern. And here what he's saying again, as he's mentioned before, he's reiterating, which he does a lot in Hebrews, I think. He's reiterating that these were just shadows, and that word in Greek means a formless mass, something that was not really anything, but it was something. Okay, so it's a shadow. And that's the best descriptor that we can get in our understanding. It's in a shadow, is the sun passes on one side of the object, and you see on the other side of the object the shadow. Here, the idea is that this you can't really see because it's in heaven, but yet you can see its shadow. Because of the sacrifices in the temple, you could see through them the reality that was the sacrifice of Christ. That's, I think, to me, what they're trying to get across here. But if those sacrifices were immense on their scale, I mean, blood would run like rivers, and the drainage system for the temple was considerable because of the blood, the volume of the blood, and so. And because of the considerable amount of those sacrifices, look at them, and every year you had to go do them again. They weren't the real one. They were just the shadow. They were just a poor substitute for the real thing. Because the real thing has happened. The sacrifice took place on Calvary, and Christ has come. He has died. He has resurrected, and life ever after. This true sacrifice of forgiveness of sins has come. Praise be to God. And I think that's the message of the first four verses there. And with that, poor Henry is chewing on my hand. Say goodbye to Henry. Isn't he lovable? Yeah, he looks lovable. He's really Henry the Horrible. But we love him. All right. Have a very blessed day, and please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. And we'll go wrestle with Henry. Take care. God bless.